Hey guys, Sundown Rider here. This is going to be my chapter review to My Hero Academia 159 or Boku no Hero Academia 159 The End. Now I really like this chapter just because it was one of those wrap up chapters, and it was done really well. It was done really fast. In one chapter, Horikoshi just goes in and he's like, "Alright, we've toasted this arc. This arc is done. Let's finish it up and let's do this chapter in one go, and let's not freaking carry this over." You know, I mean, like, what we see at the end could potentially lengthen this arc, but it's not going to be a long thing. You know, it's just going to be, this was the wrap up chapter, and then next chapter maybe something's going to go down a bit. So I really like that, because even with like the big three mangas, when they were all three of them still going, Naruto, One Piece, and Bleach, and One Piece still has this issue of wrapping things up in a very concise manner, and it doesn't really do it very well. Neither did Naruto, and neither did Bleach. But this one, Horikoshi, in this chapter itself, I mean, like in the previous chapter, he's done a decent job of wrapping things up, but he did a really good job of just summarizing it all in one chapter and being like, "Alright, the heroes are done, everyone's done, they're all gonna go to hospital. This is how Deku's alright, and we're done." You know, then freaking Shigaraki appears at the end, and we're like, "Oh shit!" So yeah, I'll just go through the chapter, tell you exactly what I liked, and tell you what I disliked and all that. So I think it's gonna be a pretty short review, to be fair. So yeah, the first thing I really enjoyed was seeing Kurono. And I liked when Kurono realizes that Chisaki might not make it. He's like, Chisaki's taken quite a while, and he never really takes this long. I know what he's like, I know what he does. And then he has this like small flashback behind, in between panels, and he's like, I know what Chisaki's like, he shouldn't be taking this long. So then he's like, I've decided to really run away with the serum and the quirk erasing bullets. So he decides to kill Aizawa before he runs away with him, but our boy Sunita steps in and he's like, "No," and he just steps in with the Popo, and the Popo is there like, "Ah boy, you best freeze." And we still see Lemillion, Sunita's carrying him on his shoulder, and he's still unconscious, and it was heartwarming to see him, but at the same time it was heart-wrenching seeing him just like kind of dragged over Sunita's shoulder, and he's carrying his best buddy, you know. So it was just kind of nice and heart-wrenching at the same time, because like, we see the state with Lemillion, and I'm like, boy, I hope to God you get your quirk back. And to be fair, like, just to throw this in, Lemillion still has the chance of getting his quirk back, because the police did confiscate the belongings of the 8 precepts, so long as the belongings ain't in the van at the end of the chapter, which would be immensely stupid. If the bullets and the serum are in the van at the end of the chapter alongside all the freaking precepts, then it's just, the shit's gonna hit the fan, because Shigaraki's gonna get a hold of all of that shit. And though he wouldn't he won't be interested in the serum and the quirk erasing bullets so long as he doesn't know what they are. If he finds out what they are, then no doubt Shigaraki's gonna be like, "Oh bitch, we're gonna mass produce this shit." But I doubt he'd be interested in them without knowing what they are. But if they're in that same van, then that's just big time, like, gross misconduct by the freaking Popo. It's like, come on, man. So like, I'm hoping that the serum and the quirk erasing bullets have been confiscated, and they're with the other police or something somewhere else, and that they're gonna be investigated, and they're gonna take it to forensics, find out exactly what's in them, and then the serum will hopefully be applied to our boy Lemillion, and hopefully he'll get his quirk back. So I'm still hopeful for him. I like the fact that Sunita also calls friggin' Suyu, he calls Ribbit Girl. I was like, you couldn't remember Frappy? You couldn't remember Suyu? You know, it's like 2 syllable thingies and you change it to Ribbit Girl. I was like, okay, that's cool. So then we get the summary of Deku really defeating Chisaki, who is then further defeated by Eri when she kind of defuses Katsukame and Chisaki. Ochako then jumps in to kind of like restrain him and detains him, really, and she was like, "Oh yeah, I gotta work for that credit." I was like, okay, it's safe. He was unconscious, his eyes had been whitened out, and to be fair, he was unconscious before that, but we see him in that kind of flashback with Old Man Yakuza, and you see that Chisaki's always had this immense pride, and he, like, because of Old Man Yakuza for taking him in, he's had that pride about the Yakuza, and he's like, if anybody even talks badly about the Yakuza, he'd kick the shit out of him. So that's kind of, you see why Chisaki would do the things he's done to get the Yakuza back to the level he wants them to be at. But you also see that he's a bit twisted, and he's a freaking crazy, he's a crazy guy, you know. But basically, I'm just trying to make the point that Ochako is just trying to get some extra screen time there. Then we have Eddie going apeshit. which was a sight to see, really, especially with her screaming at herself to stop, and she's going through all that flashbacks of all those flashbacks of your accursed existence and things like that. And she's really like yelling at herself inside her mind. You can see that whole psychotic, like fighting with her own, a fight going on within her own psyche, which is what I think psychometry is. But she's really screaming at herself to stop, and she must have rewound a lot of like what Deku's gone through. So what I want to know is how much of Deku did she rewind, because there were some scars missing from his arms. I think it was like the higher up scars. I'm not sure which fights he got those in. And so it depends on how much of Deku has she rewound. I doubt she's rewound any of the experiences gained, because he seems to be fine. But has he lost some of the damage to his arms? And I know this would, like, people would be a bit annoyed by this, because this would remove the physical representations of past lessons that he's learnt. But the truth is, as long as he's alive, he still remembers those lessons. He's still been through those lessons, so he doesn't need a physical reminder. But then again, Luffy always has his scar. Friggin' Naruto always has his friggin' seal and all that shit. So I suppose it would annoy some people, but I wouldn't mind so much. We then have Aizawa saving both Eri and Deku, because I'm not sure if Deku's quirk was going apeshit, but it looked more to me like Eri's quirk was going apeshit, and Deku was just basically getting rinsed under the pressure of it, because he couldn't do anything, because she's just hugging onto his back, and he was like, oh shit, I'm getting screwed, So and Aizawa saves the two of them by cancelling out. He says, I'm going to look at you, Midoriya, but then he cancels out Eri's quirk, so I wasn't sure whether he was just like looking at Midoriya, and she happened to be in his like visual field, and he cancelled her out as well. So maybe he just cancelled out the both of them, thinking that maybe both of them were going apeshit, whereas we know as readers that it was Eri who was going apeshit, and Deku was just getting smushed underneath their pressure. And was Eri's horn growing as with the more power that she was outputting? That's what it looked like, because in one panel where she's looking up and she's in despair, her horn is pretty bit longer than it usually is. So I was like, hey, is that horn significant? Does it represent something? Is it something to do with how much power she's outputting? Will she get a second horn? Does she have a tail and wings or some shit? I don't know. Maybe it's part of a further transformation that she can undergo once she completely utilizes and masters her abilities. The precepts are all apprehended. Naitai and all the injured heroes are sent to hospital. Naitai is still like with a gaping wound in his stomach and everything. He's in a dire situation right now. He's missing an arm. He really needs kind of Eri really to fix him up if she could reverse his ass, but I doubt they're going to be able to do that for a long time. Naitai finally accepts Deku, but there was no explanation for why the future was changed. Now, this best not have been some of that like main character ability to change the future shit. I want a proper explanation, so I'm hoping for a proper explanation down the line. Maybe Deku has a dormant quirk that really hadn't manifested, and now it's manifested really late because of the dire situation or something like that. Or maybe a prior quirk from someone who once possessed One For All, and it fused with One For All. So apart from the there's two quirks which are part of One For All, which are fused together. There's the handing over your quirk to someone else, which is what One For All is, giving a quirk to another, handing down your quirk to your successor, and rather than which is All For One, which is handing out all of your, I think was it all of your quirks, like you have a whole bunch of them and you just hand them out to different people. And the other quirk was part of One For All was the strength accumulation quirk, which was everyone who possesses it gathers their strength and it kind of just builds and builds and builds. But maybe another one fused prior to Deku and All Might, and it was something to do with a future changing ability. I don't know. It sounds like a really vague quirk, so I'm not too convinced about that theory. So then, right at the end, we have Shigaraki and company just chilling on the top of a van, on the top of a van, waiting for friggin' the cops to pop up with the precepts in their van, and they're just like, "Hey, boy." So I was like, "Shit." Shigaraki's done a really good job. He was just waiting on the sidelines, and it looks like his whole plan was really to take out Chisaki and to take over the precepts. Now, Chisaki's still in the van, so unless Shigaraki kills him, it could be that he's going to take over Chisaki and the precepts. So maybe he's going to be like, I saved Chisaki and I saved you guys, you're all underneath me. Or he can kill Chisaki and be like, now you're all underneath me. But they're all quite loyal to Chisaki. So maybe he's just going to take over the Yakuza and kill Chisaki and the precepts. Either way, he's about to capture some major pieces if they decide to defect or something, like Rappa, Kurono, I doubt, and even Rappa. He was quite loyal and he wanted to fight Chisaki again, but he seems to have more of a reason to switch. And then a bunch of them, like Katsukame and the other guy, what was his name, Neruhodo or something like Neru something, because they were broken down by Chisaki, so maybe they've got a bit of a grudge against him. So, and the fact that no heroes seem to be escorting the van full of villains, I was like, hey, okay, you kind of fooked up. So I don't know what's gonna go on there, but yeah, really good chapter. I enjoyed it. It turns out the review was as long as it was ever gonna be. Yeah, so like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Let me know what you guys thought, and I will see you guys in a bit.